Hello there, and thank you for clicking on this video. As you can see by title, we are going to talk about Downton Abbey and why you should watch it. I'm gonna go through some of the plot. I will try not to spoil it, and I will talk about some of the stories that I really enjoyed and why I think they are good. Some of my favorite characters, and in general, this is gonna be a fun little video about Downton Abbey and the fact I don't get it. The fact that I have never seen it before. I know of Downton Abbey, of course. I know it exists. I know it came out a few years ago. I mean, 2010. It's still a few years ago for me, even though we're now officially 2025, and I don't think I can take it. Like, why? How are we 2025? Like, time flies so fast, and I try to snap, but I cannot really snap. But that's a different video, I guess, about me snapping. That can mean a lot of things, but that's funny. I'm gonna leave it in here because I tried to make this video a few times. So let's just stick to this craziness. So as I said, I didn't know that the show was so good, even though it has been online, it has been released a few years ago. And I've seen like some scenes here. I mean, I've seen like not even scenes, like I knew what it was about more or less, like a British period drama, but I've never like given it a thought. I've seen it on the TV, but I just didn't care too much of it. And then my mom was like, you know what, we should watch it. And I was like, really, Downton Abbey? But okay. And I fell in love with it, and I cannot believe that I have not seen it earlier. And that's a really it's a blasphemy. It's not blasphemy, but it's a sin that I have not seen it earlier. I think it has great stories, great characters. But what is Downton Abbey for all you people who are like, why am I watching this video? What is she talking about? Let's go to Wikipedia because it's easy and more or less true. So the show was created. So the moment I knew, I kind of learned that the show was created by an aristocrat himself, a lot of things started to make sense in the show. So his name is just wow. Julian Alexander Kitchener, or Kitchener Fellows, Baron Fellows of West Stafford, DL, which means a deputy lieutenant. So this person created the show, and he is as I said, aristocrat himself. He's the Right Honorable, the Lord Fellows of West Stafford. Oh, British. Wow. You used to be something. Now, but yeah, I mean, a lot of things started making sense when I found out that the creator is obviously someone who likes the aristocracy himself. So what is this about? The series set, I'm sorry, the series set on the fictional Yorkshire country estate of Downton Abbey between 1912 and 1926, depicts the lives of the aristocratic Crowley family and their domestic servants in the post-Edwardian era, and the effects the great events of the time have on their lives and the British social hierarchy. These events include news of the sinking Titanic, the First World War in general, etc. I was supposed to say etc. The sixth and the final series introduces the rise of the working class during the interwar period and hints at the eventual decline of the British aristocracy. So yeah, as you can see, it's a whole dynamic between the servants and the aristocracy, and I found this very, very interesting. As you can see here, you have a very pretty presentation that I made for this video that I don't know if I say I'm proud of it, but it is what it is. So as you can see on the first row, you have the aristocrat family, and under them, obviously, you see their servants, and you have this very interesting dynamic. You have the class relations. Basically, some of the servants see the Crowley family as these gods, and then you have some of the servants who are normal people and are like, okay, they're just our employers. Let's not go too deep. As Miss Hughes, who I freaking love. She's one of the best characters in the show. So as I said here, let's zoom. For me, I'm not zooming for you, for me, because I need to see. As I said, so this show obviously is made by someone who is very favorable of the royalty, of the aristocracy. So it has a certain perspective, a favorable perspective of the high life, of the royalties. And I know a lot of the things that are happening are very biased, as I say. So I'm very aware of that. So I choose to see the show as some kind of a fairy tale. I'm not going too deep, like, "Oh, this is not gonna be like that exactly." But I don't go too deep. For me, this is a show that is kind of like escapism. You can escape, you can immerse yourself in a different reality. I mean, it's a different reality for us because we have never experienced, what it's like to live in the early 1900s. So for me, it's something um far from reality. Like, it's a fairy tale. It's a nice fairy tale about kings and queens and nice dresses. Of course that they're subjects that are very important and are presented from a biased point of view, but I choose to just see it for what it is. It's a nice, cute story, a lot of drama. I love the drama, but nothing more. Like, it's not teaching me anything. And not every show or story needs to teach me something. I mean, yeah, you can get a lesson here and there, but in general, the historical facts, I cannot fact check them. I don't know how it was back in the day, but yes, it is a biased view, obviously. So as I said, it's interesting dynamic between the high life and the servants, and there is also a drama in between the servants, in between the high life. So you see the two people on the left, well, my left, I guess, are Mary and Matthew, and this is one of the big dramas of the show because Mary, who is the daughter of the man here, Mr. Crowley, so when he dies, she cannot inherit anything because she's a girl. So they went out and about looking for a cousin, a distant relative who is male, so he can inherit the title and the money and the estate and everything. And this is a very obviously interesting story because well, yes, I think that there are still countries out there, especially in other religions, that the inheritance is a bit weird, the rules there, but yeah, it's not something common that we live. I mean, now we have the law, we follow the law. It doesn't matter who you are, you can inherit whatever you can inherit, and it doesn't matter that you're a girl. But back in the day, obviously, it was a different time. So it's interesting to see that dynamic. And I mean, I don't want to spoil too much, obviously, but these two end up, getting along and eventually getting together. But the thing is, as I said, he is the cousin of the family. So they're kind of related. So should be some incest going on. So I always got an icky feeling from them being together. I think that they're great together. Matthew is one of my favorite characters, but the whole fact that they are kind of related is not okay. But in general, all the characters are great, and I really enjoyed watching this. The costumes, the music, the drama, on point. But the next thing I want to talk about is the one of the main storylines of the show is the relationship between Edith and Mary. So Mary is the one with the brown hair, and Edith is the one with the blonde hair. Mary is the firstborn, and Edith is the secondborn. And you have this cliche, this stereotype that secondborns are the middle children are, the ones that everyone neglect, and that was the case in the show. Like Edith, until the end, she was so neglected, and she was kind of hateful, but it's because everyone were hateful towards her, especially Mary. So you have this sister rivalry, is that the word? This sister tension throughout the whole seasons. In the movies is a bit better, but throughout the season, you had Mary, who was the it girl, and then you had Edith, who was always hiding behind her family, hiding behind everyone and everything. But later in the seasons, the roles did get kind of reversed, and Edith came out triumphant. But the whole dynamic between Edith and Mary was a very, very interesting. And the fact that Edith got a very good character development, which I'm going to talk about here now. She had a very good character development, character journey. She went through so much and changed a lot. She became a very, very good character with, you know, aware of her mistakes, aware of her flaws, but also aware of her strengths. And then you have Mary, who basically started the same and ended up the same. Um, yeah. So Edith, as I said, I don't want to spoil too much, but you're gonna see. Like at the beginning, I was like, girl, just shut up. She was annoying, she was hateful. But I mean, she had a reason to be how she was. And you get to sympathize. Like the more people were mean to her and like neglecting her, the more you would sympathize with her. And she had such a good story. She had a dynamic story. While Mary, she was like, every man was fighting to be with Mary. Like Mary got everything served on a silver platter, and Edith was always like struggling. She wanted to marry like an 80-year-old man just because she thought she couldn't do better. And it's insane. It's a great story. So the other thing I want to talk about is my favorite characters, especially these two here who are Lady Violet and Isabel. So Isabel is the mother of Matthew, and Violet is the mother of the main Crowley, right? And I actually want to show you how good Maggie Smith was in the role, because that is the Maggie Smith, and I love it. I love it. Let's see if I'm sharing this correctly. Okay, let's remove from the stage and let's add this. Here. Technology is not my biggest strength, but I want to show you before I start talking, like her comebacks, her delivery, like these two together, the best dynamic. Until the end, they were the highlight for me. Like every episode, their dynamic, their chemistry was the highlight of the show.
What should we call each other? Well, we could always start with Mrs. Crawley and Lady Grantham.
I thought you didn't like him.
Well, so what? I have plenty of friends I don't like.
Her delivery, her face, like her facial expressions, like everything is just so superb with her.
Poor Dr. Clarkson. Oh, what has he done to deserve that termagant? Mary won't take Matthew Crawley, so we'd better get her settled before the bloom is quite gone off the rose.
Is the family an old one?
Older than yours, I imagine. Would happen to a foreigner. It's typical.
Don't be ridiculous.
I'm not being ridiculous. No Englishman would dream of dying in someone else's house.
How about you can also just watch the scenes that they have compilations of on the YouTube channel of Downton Abbey, or just go and watch the show because it's such a good show. Like all the actors are delivering every line on spot. Most of them are written very well. Some of them, I guess one of the biggest things that the character development with some characters is just not developing. It's just there. Like you have Edith, you have Branson, you have Lady Grantham, Maggie Smith. You have her also going from obviously a snob, like she's a snob, like she is the peak aristocrat, right? She thinks so high of herself, but like you can also totally see her human side and like, okay, fine, that's not the aristocratic way, but I'm there for my family. Well, all others are like, no, not really up there with that sentiment. So you have Miss Hughes, who is the female butler. I would say that she's the maid, the main maid, whatever. She's great. She doesn't give an F about the royalties or being an aristocrat. She is her doing her own thing. She is just an employee and she knows that. And I love her because she's a very good contrast to the butler, who is Mr. Carson, who is in awe of the royalties. And then I have Matthew, as I said, he was such a good character. Mary was only likable with him. He was a lawyer and he was just so down to earth and great. Branson, he has a great story as well. I think they kind of made him too vanilla at the end, like very, he had principles, and I'm not saying like fight for your principles like at every second, because you have to make compromise sometimes. But he used to be so like passionate and fiery, and then he was kind of like, why am I here? Like he didn't serve too much of a purpose in the later season or in the movies that much, but I still really like him. So dislikes, I tried to get rid of this black spot. I couldn't. So here we are. Just bear with me. So dislikes, I really hated. I forgot his name. The butler. No, the butler. The mm, let me find that. I should have prepared. I tried to make this video 100 times and I always failed. And now I'm failing again. Oh, William. What? No, that was not Thomas. Thomas. So Thomas. So he was like the second butler, like whatever, I don't know. So Thomas was just mean for no reason whatsoever. Like people were nice to him right from the beginning, even when he was awful to them. Like they were nice to him, and he was just mean for no reason whatsoever. And he got some kind of redemption. I'm happy for him because he was misunderstood. Like he went through some hardships as well, but he did so many bad things. Like you cannot imagine how many bad things he did for no reason whatsoever. No reason whatsoever. So I don't think he did deserve that much of a redemption, but he did get it, and it was okay. It was well done, but still, like, why did you get it? Lord Grantham, which is the man in the white shirt. I mean, they're all in white, but the one on the bottom, he is such annoying character. Like he's so weak. So he was about. I'm kind of spoiling, but he played with, like, he had no comprehension of what money is and how difficult it is for some people to, to get money, to get a living. Like he had everything handed down to him. So when he had to fight for his fortune, like he would just be in ruins. Like he's so incompetent, but the moment you kind of suggest, like, okay, you're a bit incompetent, can we do something different? Like, can we just break the status quo because it's not working? Like, you're basically going to lose everything. He's like, are you disrespecting me right now? Like he's so over the top. Like he thinks so high of himself. Like, by the end, he didn't get any redemption. Like I disliked him so much. Like he would, yeah, I have no redeeming words for Mr. Lord Grantham here, whatever. And then you have Mary. Mary, as I already talked about her relationship with Edith, she was just not a good character. She didn't go through any character development at all, and I think like her character is just so bland. But then you have like every new season, you had a new love interest, and people and guys like men, like proper men, will like go head over heels for her, and she's just so uninteresting. Like you had Edith, spoiler alert, like later on she's gonna be like a very like a boss babe. She is interested in so many things. Like she is kind of knowledgeable. Like she is independent. And they have Mary, who basically is just there, like bland, like standing. Like she's not furthering herself, developing herself in any way. But all men are going head over heels for her, and it doesn't make sense. It does not make sense. And then you have her latest husband, which is another spoiler, but you probably already know. Her latest husband, I love the actor a lot, but yeah, like he was even not, I don't think he was even in the last movie. Like he just feels kind of out of place. Like he was just horned in then, like, okay, now she has a husband and they're together. Okay, like he felt kind of out of place for me. But yeah, I guess these are my dislikes. And then you have, obviously, I did not like that when they would talk about the king, or just the king, because the queen comes later. Like there's some sort of like supreme beings, better than everyone. And also they talk so favorably of the aristocracy, like that there's some just better human beings than everyone. And I'm sorry, but aristocracy, I guess you can argue for that, but they're just there because of luck, because they're born into those families. So it's all luck. Like there is nothing too special about them. Um, so whenever, I don't know, the village would need help or something, like they would feel so mighty. And I don't know, like the show was just very favorable of the aristocracy, and they were basically, spending lavishly. They were spending so much money on so many unnecessary things, and it's just rich people today now as well. But I mean, it's your thing. But I just mean because now, like, do you? I don't care. But back then, like, you view these people that live in these huge houses, like in the first, for example, there was a storyline during the First World War. Like they helped a lot, right? But it was so hard to make them help. It was like it was a fight. Like, ah, no, like we're beyond that, we're above that. Like, let them deal with their let the peasants deal with their own problems. Like, wow. Okay, great. But yeah, in general, I cannot complain about the show too much. As I said, I view it as kind of a fairy tale. Like, I don't put too much thought into it. I think that the character relations are interesting. I think that some did go through very good character developments. There were very cute mini stories, like side stories, like Anna and her husband. I think that they're very mismatched, but still, it was a cute story. In general, there are a lot of interesting things, but especially their chemistry. Ooh, let's look at another video because it's just so good.
It's the house parties.
She's been asked to one next month by Lady Anne McNair.
That's a terrible idea. She doesn't know anyone under 100.
I might send her over to visit my aunt. She could get to know New York.
Oh, I don't think things are quite that desperate.
I can handle her.
I love her.
Really? Well, if you can, you must have learned to very recently. Please don't think we're ungrateful for your enthusiasm, Mrs. Crawley, but there comes a time when things are best left to the professionals.
She's just so good. She's so good, guys. She's so good. Yeah, like you cannot imagine how good this woman is. And yeah, rest in peace, Maggie Smith, a great actress. And I need to watch Harry Potter again. So I'm looking forward to the last movie to come out this year, I think. And if this video gets any views, I'll talk about the movies as well. But I don't think that the movies, they're good, but they're just not that good. I think the show is really the heart and soul of the whole franchise. It has the most and the best drama in it, and interesting one. So do let me know down below what you think about Downton Abbey. Why is it kind of underrated? It's popular, but kind of underrated. Do let me know down below what you think about this, and I'll see you in the next video. And as always, may the force be with you.